Hey Scrubbers, it's Vanessa here, and today I have a layout for the new release from Traci called Autumn Enchantment. And I did previously put up a video of what I printed from this digital collection that I plan to use for a couple of pages this month. So if you want to check out everything that I'm going to use, you can check out that video that should be up just before this one. And so to start my layout for today, I am going to show you what my plan is for my background, and we'll build it sort of in stages. So really quickly, these are the papers that I have decided to use. So this one here is from SEI, and it is just a sort of solid, it's kind of got a linen textured background. Even the paper has like a linen feel. I'm going to use this sort of yellow mustard kind of color. That is going to be my background. And then I have these three patterns, which happen to be that I printed at 12 by 12. So I'm going to use two of these here. These two are going to be background pieces, so they'll be in a larger size. This is going to be the frame for the entire layout. And then I am going to use a few of the 4 by 6, and then one of my 8.5 by 11, and then this 12 by 12, all to back my photos, which I don't know if my photos are going to show up well on camera or not, if you'll be able to make it out. But hidden in the grass of all of these photos are little baby bunnies. And so this one here, they're really small, so they're like in their den. And so we had a mama bunny build her little nest in our backyard, which I don't know why she picked our backyard, because we have a dog. So once we discovered the bunnies, every time we would take the dog out, we would kind of go stand guard at the little bunny's nest so that the dog wouldn't get at the bunnies. And so I was able to sort of snap progress photos of the bunnies. So they were still like little babies. And then I think there were like 3 or 4 in the nest. And then this one, they're a little bit bigger. So there's one here, and one here. I don't know where, I'm not sure if there was 4 or if there might have only been 3, but they're kind of all bundled up right here. And then the last 2 pictures are after they had actually left the nest. I think it was like their first night of leaving the nest. And so 2 of them were still cuddled together outside of the nest and in the grass. And then this other little one, he was down a little bit further all by himself. So it's kind of a little progression of photos of these sweet little baby bunnies that were living in our backyard for a little while. They have since gone off and are doing whatever bunnies do. So I have this little progression of photos that I thought it would be fun to use this collection to document the cute baby bunnies. So that's what I'm going to use, and I'm going to use these papers here to mat. So I'm not going to show it on camera, but basically I'm just going to mat them. Each one of them will be matted with the same pattern, but each one will have one of these patterns, and then I'll back them with this blue linen pattern paper, and then as well as this one. So they'll have sort of 3 mats around them. At this point, that's what I'm thinking. And then, like I said, I'm going to build my background, and I think ideally what my plan is going to be, at least this is what I'm thinking of, I am going to probably cut my stripes at about 4 inches, and then this one, the polka dot, at about 7.5, which would give me about 11.5 size. And then they're going to kind of go side by side here. So I will have a seam down the center, but I'm going to cover that. But ultimately it'll be this one at about 4 inches, this one at about 7.5. So this will be smaller. And then I plan to put my photos 2 up here, I think, and 2 down here. And then once I've got that in place, then I'm going to play with all of these ephemera pieces. And if you watched my earlier video, you know that I printed all of these on sticker backing paper, and I went ahead and cut out that entire sheet that I had created of the florals and the mushrooms. I cut all of those out, and then I also cut out some of the labels for this page, and so I'm going to layer up all of these on the page, or at least a good chunk of them. And then I also pulled out, just to add a little bit of dimension, once I get to building my clusters, I have some wood veneer, because I really feel like wood veneer with this collection really coordinates really well. So I have some cute little mushrooms and a heart, and then I'm going to use some Spiegel Mom Scraps sequins. These ones happen to be Scrap and Happy. This was released back in May, so I don't believe it's still available, but I really thought the colors, and with kind of going toward the lighter side, I thought these would be kind of the perfect sequins. So I'm going to use those at the end to just sprinkle about. Again, gives me a different texture and a bit of sparkle to the page. And then lastly, I have two alphas. I have these ones here, which was from a Paige Evans collection, and this is Happy Life. So I'm going to use the white, and then I have these Hip Kit, which are kind of like a orange rust color. So I'm going to have those for my title. So off camera, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to back my photos. So I'll back the photos, and then I'm going to cut these down and build my background. And when I come back, we will put the photos will already be down, and we'll go ahead and build the embellishment clusters and put the other details on this page. So stay tuned and you'll see the next step of this page. Okay, my background is all down. So I have my photos, I have my background, I have my everything matted, and I did offset the mats, especially on the floral paper, just to give it some interest on my photos. And this frame right here, I did use some of the blue linen pattern paper. This is actually from the digital stamps. I just went ahead and cut it on my silhouette and used the blue paper to cut that little frame. So I have that. This is where my title is going to go. So I wanted to put that down so you could get an idea of where my title is going to go. So my 4 photos are down, and I've taken all of my embellishments here, and what my plan is I thought I would build it, and then I'll go off camera and glue everything down, because it is going to take a few minutes. And because I have so much pattern happening on this page, I did pull out my Distress ink in Vintage Photo, and I did go ahead and ink up the edges of my papers, and I'll probably do that with all the embellishments as well. It just, because there's so much pattern happening on this page, just helps give a little bit of definition to all the pieces that are going on this page. And so I am going to, my plan for embellishment is I'm going to embellish a line down here to cover the seam, because obviously it's, right now there's nothing, and you can completely see that there's a seam. And then I'm going to have just an embellishment cluster that's going to go somewhere right around here. My title, like I said, is going to go on here. So I'm going to have an embellishment cluster that's going to go probably right up here. And that is going to then tie this side of the page to sort of this side. So I have everything laid out. I'm going to, I know somewhere down the side here, I am going to put these wood veneer, and then the heart is going to go in this cluster because it's going to be smaller. I am going to put some butterflies. I'm just not sure where. So I thought I would just start and sort of place in these florals, since I have all of these florals that are cut, and I am just going to play with placement. So not exactly sure. This likely, because nothing ever seems to go down exactly how I place it. I'm giving you an idea of where everything is going to go, but I will say that it's likely that everything doesn't exactly go back in the same locations once I glue everything down, but this will at least give you an idea. And this cluster won't be as large, but I am just kind of throwing a floral over in that side so I can get a feel for where everything's gonna go. I'm not exactly sure. I didn't pre-plan this, so I'm not 100% positive on how everything is going to kind of go together. So you'll have to bear with me as I kind of fumble my way through this. And I did say these are going to come in here, so I kind of like the idea of one maybe down here, and then the other one down here, and then that means I can put one up here maybe. We'll see. And then I think I need a pop of green over here. I'm not sure I'm going to use any more of those. And then some of these green leaves are going to pop in amongst the florals here. One will be up here, maybe two up here. Let's see. Perhaps this one will be up here. So ideally I want the florals to cascade down here. This looks sparse, so I will probably add some florals in there, but I want this to be nice and full. I'm okay where these are coming together because it's the two photos, but I want this to kind of be a full line of embellishment. And then, like I said, there'll be a cluster here, and I will probably be putting one of these, likely this yellow one, up here as well to build the cluster on a little bit. And then, like I said, that one's going to go in there. And I also have this Perfect Moment, which is definitely going to go on the layout somewhere. I'm just not 100% sure where. I don't know if it's going to go down here, or I might work it into that cluster. And then I do have the little acorns, which I just think are so adorable. So that's going to go in that cluster somewhere. I'm just not 100% sure where. So, like I said, I'm going to probably add just a little bit of ink around the edges of these, because then that way they kind of stand off the page a little bit. But it's going to go and look something like this. So a really full embellished page. I probably am not going to use any more of those, or these, or these. And then I think if I'm going to use butterflies at all, it's probably going to be these pink ones, just because I love pink, especially. And these are not butterflies. I just realized I called them butterflies. They're moths. I keep forgetting. But these ones like have that look of a butterfly, but they're moths. I do know that. And so I think those are going to go something like that, and then the third one up there. So bear with me, because this is going to be a lot of gluing, so I'm not going to put you through that. When I come back, this is going to be glued down in place. Same with the cluster that'll be over here. It just won't include all of this. It'll be pared down. When I come back, we'll go ahead and add the title and finish it up with some of these fun sequins so that we get a bit of a different textural element on the page. And I probably will pop up some of the florals on some foam just to add a little bit of dimension, because everything else is pretty flat and it's all paper. So other than the wood veneer. So I will be right back and we will complete this layout. Okay, everything is glued down, so now you can see my line of florals that cover the seam of the two pieces of pattern paper meeting, and then I have that other cluster that I built over by my title. So next up, we are going to put down the title and then finish up with the sequins, and we will call this one done. So I'm going to do my title, which is Hello Sweet Babies, because that's what they are, is sweet little baby bunnies. And they were adorable, and it was so cute to get to watch them kind of get bigger and get to like see them pretty up close, which was kind of fun. And so Now I just have to fiddle around with this title to get it to fit where I need it to go. That's always the fun part. I don't know if you actually want to sit and watch me do this or not, but hopefully I'll probably fiddle around with that a little bit, but I actually will because I want to actually center it. So I will do that off camera because it is no fun to watch me pull up these letter stickers over and over again. And because I cannot put a title on straight like ever, I am going to go ahead and bounce my title, and I am using 3s as my E's because I don't have any E's left. So I'm just bouncing the title so that it's okay that it is not straight across, because when you bounce the title it can kind of go up and down and kind of makes it like a music. And I will likely have to space these out differently as well, which I will, like I said, do off camera because I'm going to run out of room and I want this to be somewhat centered as well. So yeah, so I'm going to end up moving this over and centering this, but that is going to be my title. So when you see the close-up photos, when the video is done, you will see that these have moved and sort of centered themselves. But what we're going to do is quickly just add some sequins down the page. I'm just adding some glue dots down my embellishment clusters, or one long embellishment cluster, and then let's see, where else? Here, maybe here. And then I am just going to randomly pick up these sequins that definitely match perfectly with the lighter side of the colors from this collection, and I'm just going to dot. No real rhyme or reason to which colors I'm picking. I am just playing with adding some pretty sequins down the page, mixing the color, getting a good mix of color. And of course I stick my finger in the glue because, you know, gotta do that. And so let's see, I know I always say like I'm just going to be random, but then I find myself end up picking specifically the colors that I want to go, and then I'm not talking because I'm concentrating on what I'm doing. So I apologize, because that's what happens. I get intensely working on my project and I forget that I'm videoing it at the same time. So bear with me and I will get all these sequins down. Although that one I feel like is too big for there. Let's put that one over there and get a smaller one for over there. And where else do I have glue? I think right there. Do I have all of my glue spots filled? Did I? No, I got one more. One more, which needs to be a green, I think. There we go. So let's see. Do I have everything covered? I think so. So with that, that is going to be it for this layout. I absolutely adore this layout. I've got all of my favorite things, the florals and the moths and the mushrooms from the collection and the acorns. So all my favorite things are on this page, and my favorite striped paper. So with that, guys, I will catch you on the next one. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.